Welcome back. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to fold the origami ant designed by Kasahara. It looks like this and uses the base fold 3. So to get started, we're going to use a regular sheet of paper, and you can take the top edge and fold it down to be parallel with the side edge and create a square. If you've already got a square, that's wonderful. We'll turn it into a triangle in a moment. Take your bone folder and fold right along the diagonal nice firmly, and then cut off the remaining bit of paper, whatever kind of paper you're using. Okay. Then once you have your origami square looking something like this, we're going to create the base fold 3. So we're going to cut right along that diagonal line to create a triangle. Then use that triangle to start your base fold 3. I'm going to switch out my paper so that I have a colored sheet so you can see both sides. Take the right hand corner here and fold it up to the top corner so that these two sides are parallel. And this line comes right down the center. Then repeat the step on the opposite side here, taking this corner, folding it up towards the center, so that these two sides are parallel and this line here is in the center. Then to create the base fold 3, take the top edge here and fold it in towards the center line to create an acute right triangle. And repeat the step on the opposite side. Okay, then take this triangle flap and inside reverse fold it, reversing that one, which should be already a valley fold. Reverse that mountain into a valley, and reverse this valley fold out into a mountain. And that completed inside reverse fold should look something like that when you're done. Okay. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Open it, use that valley fold, reverse that mountain into a valley, and reverse this valley into a mountain. So when you're done, your base fold 3 should look something like this from the inside, from the side, and the top. Okay? Then, getting started, I'm going to hold my model this way, and I'm going to mountain fold it this direction, right down the center, so that I have a triangle. I've got 3 flaps on the back. I have 1, 2 in the middle, and 3 on the outside edge. Okay. Now I'm going to mountain fold right along here so that this flap turns underneath, and this edge here lines up with this center line. Okay, you have to fold it, mountain folding it underneath like that, because if you try to line it up via unfolding this whole flap, folding of the paper won't work quite well. So that's what that should look like when you're done, that flap being folded behind, so that this is a mountain fold. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So here's the opposite side. I'm just going to take this piece of paper, fold it down like this so it's a mountain fold, and line it up with my other flap of paper here. So I've got those 2 flaps pointing down. Those are going to end up being our feet in a minute. Okay. Then you're going to take this edge here and valley fold it so that it lines up with this outside edge. Like so. and then repeat the same step on the back. So I'm going to flip my paper over and repeat that same step here, taking this outside edge and folding it so that it meets up with that edge. Okay, folding back to the front side here. You're going to open this piece up, and then you're going to tuck this triangle underneath. Now it's kind of tricky because if you look here, we have two flaps, this outside flap and the inside flap. If you tuck the first flap in like that, and then the top flap goes all the way underneath so that there's a mountain fold crease right here so that it lines up with this point on the edge of your ant. So it's looking something like that. Okay, and that's a little tricky to get started, but you're going to have to get that like that so that the feet can adjust a little bit later. Do the same step on the opposite side. Just going to reopen this flap and tuck this portion underneath, the first part underneath, and then the second part releasing it all the way up inside. Like that. All right. Now going back to the first side again, we're going to take this outside edge here and fold it one more time, valley folding it towards the edge. So we're going to make a nice thin leg. Now at this point, folding this corner gets a little tricky because the paper is so thin. So take your time and try to fold it as accurately as possible because it's going to be these little teeny feet here, so you want it to look as nice as possible. And you might even have to turn it up and just pinch this last little bit in your fingers if you can. And this little piece down here is going to actually end up being the foot, so you can kind of get away with it not being exactly perfect. But you want it to look something like that when you're done. Okay, flip the model over and do the same thing on the opposite side. Valley folding the outside edge towards the center so it looks like that when you're done. Okay, now flipping the model back over this direction, you can take these little legs and bend them ever so slightly backwards, about like this, and kind of recrease it just so that they're a little bit tilted backwards. It's going to help later. Okay, then we're going to cut a little line from about there to there. And that's going to end up being the little antenna out here later. So take a nice pair of scissors so you don't mangle your paper and just carefully snip that line, making sure to leave a little bit of connected space here, which is going to be the head right there. Okay? Once you have that, we're going to fold those inside. So we're going to need to mountain fold them. All right, so I'm going to actually open my paper up a little bit like this so you can kind of see the inside. And I'm just going to take this and fold it almost towards the center line so that the head folds in towards the center line like that, but we don't go quite all the way there. It's kind of tricky because we've got that cut piece of paper. Okay, so it should look something like that when you're done. Now do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm just going to mountain fold those two together. like that. Okay. So there's my two legs still coming down this direction, fairly straight, and there's the head out this direction. Alright, now once you've finished that, you're going to take the tail end here and you're going to need to inside reverse it upward. But the tricky part is this part here is in the way. So instead of doing the traditional way I would normally do it, making a valley fold first and then inside reverse folding it, I'm just going to take this flap of paper and fold it upwards so that it is in between those two antennae. Close it, and then kind of like a pivot fold, I'm just going to adjust the inside of this body like that so that it's going almost right up in between the base of the two legs here. And you should have just a little flat area right there. I want them a little bit higher, like that. Okay? I'm going to just recrease that. Now, we're going to take a little corner here, about from here to there, and mount and fold it inside. That's going to be the base of the body. So here's that mount and fold inside. And I'm going to mount and fold the other side inside. So that it's parallel with that first piece. Should look like that on the inside when you're done. Okay, now I'm going to take this point here and I'm going to inside reverse it back out so that it looks like this. Okay, I'm going to leave this step here for a minute and move over to this point, and I'm going to pull the head out. Okay, I'm going to outside reverse fold this point here, and again I can't really bend it because I don't want to mess up the antenna on the inside, so I'm just going to roll it over my thumb here until those antennae pop out. And once the antenna pop out, I can kind of adjust the head by pinching it with these two fingers and adjust the head so it looks like the ant head in the other model that I made there, that little triangular piece. So it'll look something like that when you're done. Okay, and that's the head portion there. Then, to make sure that the tail sticks together here, I'm just going to fold this triangle down once like this. I'm going to fold it up inside the body like this, tucking it inside to lock the paper in place so that these two flaps don't separate apart. And then we can kind of round it out with our fingers like that to make a rounded ant body. Alright, now we're going to work on these legs here. I'm going to take these legs and I'm going to flip them, valley folding them back up this way, creasing it that direction and creasing the other one to match. Like so. And those are the two legs facing upward. And now I'm going to valley fold them back down this direction so that they come back down to the ground or past the body. And you'll see the little foot just passing the body here. I'm going to valley fold the other one in the same direction. So there's a little bit of negative space in between the legs. And then these two legs, we want them, whoops, we want those to be flat, so I'm just going to bend these back. This would probably be an outside reverse fold. If you have enough paper to manage a proper outside reverse fold, do it. But if you don't, you can just kind of flatten it out and pinch it so that it looks like that. Doing the same thing on the other side. Outside reverse folding, or flattening and pinching. And there's our finished ant. It should stand up once you get it working. And actually this might work better here if we do an outside reverse fold on this leg like this. That's going to work a lot better. There we go. That'll actually work much nicer. That will hold it in place far, far better. And outside reverse the other leg right along that valley fold crease we made before. So those now are outside reverse folds on those two legs. And then outside reverse fold the feet so that they're flat, and that should stand up very nicely now on those two legs. Okay? And that is how you finish the Origami Ant designed by Kasahara.